A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kalisa. Kicking it off to the local scene, President Paul Kagame has noted that even before the COVID-19 pandemic, the world was not on track to meeting the goals of the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, and that attaining those goals will require focus and political will. The Rwandan head of state has also pointed out that trade is the key pathway to prosperity. President Paul Kagame made the statement during the SDGs G20 third session on Sunday that was focusing on sustainable development. The African leader also commended the International Monetary Fund for its newly allocated special drawing right for $650 billion to assist the countries that were mostly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, but also expressed disappointment that only $21 billion of that money has been channeled to low-income countries. Earlier during the G20's second session that turned its attention to climate change and the environment, the president urged developed countries to honor their commitment to raising $100 billion a year to help developing nations to make a green transition, emphasizing that industrialized countries bump out 80% of the world's emissions. He stated that even though Africa is the cause of climate change, the continent is still willing to play its part in addressing the issue. To other matters, quality assurance officials in Rwanda have reiterated that all petroleum products imported into the country meet required standards by the international community.
Vehicles have continued to be a leading pollutant in Rwanda, which is why the country is committed to using alternative energy sources to fossil fuels. All these vehicles can sometimes be a problem, making it hard to breathe. All that smoke can sting your nostrils. Rwanda imports more than 40 million liters of petrol and diesel every year, and importers insist that all the fuel they bring in meets international quality standards.
Before to distribute to our customers, they have to take sample and then test if that products are matching with those standards. Those standards is East African standards. So we assure our customers that the product which we are giving them are standards on the international standards as well on East African standards.
Officials at the Rwanda Standards Board have confirmed that all petroleum products are tested to establish that they do indeed meet the required standards.
Now, the petroleum product that we are having is complying with the 50 ppm, and as a target in 2024, when you look at standard perspective, we are committed to be at 10 ppm, from 50 ppm up to 10 ppm. This is giving us a task to upgrade even our laboratories to make sure that we are able to test all those products entering the country.
Rwanda's efforts to reduce the pollution that comes from such products have been paying off, with those imported into the country now containing just 50 parts per million of sulfur, down from as much as 500 ppm, the goal being to bring down the figure to 10 by 2024. Around 5 million people around the world die of respiratory illnesses annually, increasing the need to address the problem of air pollution.
Looking at the global trends, we are hoping that there's a very significant shift from investments. Most of investments are now going to be very sensitive and green and inclusive to climate actions. But also not only that, there is quite a number of big coalitions globally, from financial institutions to research and academics to developing states and cities. They all came together under an umbrella called Race to Zero, which means they actually want to start a race to achieve net zero carbon emission by 2050.
Other pollutants in Rwanda include factories, the construction industry, factory-grade fertilizers, gases from landfills, and more.
The Kigali city authorities are urging residents to work hand in hand with them in preserving the environment in order to make the city look more attractive to tourists. Jen Mutoni has the report.
At the top of Mount Rebero, a recreational area has been developed, as well as the Nyandungu marshland, which is now an eye-catching site, and the city wall site. These activities aim to make various places attractive for people to visit. Some of the residents in Kigali city say they are aware of the impact of their role in preserving and protecting these sites and believe to have more ideas. Trees are good and important, and that's why we can be using them for cooking.
Sometimes I see taxi motorcyclists passing where they're not supposed to, or you see a person walking over places they shouldn't. I usually remind such people that it's not right.
As today marks the World Cities Day, the city of Kigali signs a partnership agreement with the Global Green Growth Institute to work together to promote the development of the transportation sector without destroying the environment. The mayor of Kigali city, Prudence Ruingisa, says the agreement is the beginning of a partnership with the international community to make Kigali a more eco-friendly city and urges residents to be more supportive on this journey.
Ibyo twagerageje gukora cyangwa dukomeza no gukora kugira ngo abari umujyi nyabagendwa.
We aim for our city to become a tourist destination for its residents and visitors, with the residents feeling proud to be living in it and function properly and socially. We urge them to play their role by not cutting down these trees and to protect the places I mentioned, which we have established for entertainment activities like Nyandungu and other places. So people need to preserve and protect these places.
The country representative for Rwanda at the Global Green Growth Institute, Okechukwu Daniel Ogbonaya, says that working with the city of Kigali was due to their satisfaction with the Rwandan government's and Kigali's good plan to protect the environment. Hence, cooperation with them would help achieve the goal soon. He says that part of the plan is to promote sites in Rwanda for more tourists to visit.
We use that global platform to, showcase what Kigali is doing, but also to attract, to support the government's push to attract green investment.
Currently, the city of Kigali covers an area of just over 76,000 hectares. The city administration says it plans to plant at least 200,000 trees by the end of this year, including more than 100,000 fruit trees to help the city develop and at the same time sustain its environment. Jane Mutoni, RTV News.
Thank you very much, Jane. To human interest matters now. Alexis Nizeimana is a successful farmer in the eastern province of Rwanda, currently engaged in multiplication of a new kind of quality bean planting seed and employs more than 150 people daily. He now exports beans abroad. More on his success story with Serge Nore.
Alexis Nzeimana grows his beans in Goma district, and the people he employs say he has helped them to improve their livelihoods.
I moved here from Kichukiro and I'm a widow. I heard people saying that he hires people. Now I'm a part of a savings group and I have a health insurance. I have other groups I am part of, like that of CARE. I started working for Alex 9 years ago, and now I have been able to buy a cow, a bicycle for my son, a sewing machine for my daughter. He pays us 1,500 Rwandan francs per day as wages, so health insurance is not a problem.
Despite using no irrigation methods, Alexis' beans seem unaffected even when the seasonal rains become unreliable. There is no secret, other than the fact that in farming you must employ different techniques. When you hear the President of the Republic speaking of technology, you must not think that he means that it only applies to certain sectors and not others, because it can and should be used in things like agriculture as well. You must plant the proper seeds and on time, so that you can benefit from the rains, however irregular they may be. As the beans grow, they are able to resist dry conditions, especially if the right fertilizers and manure are used as well. Alexis started working as a professional farmer in 2011, growing not just beans but maize and soya as well. He got training from different agricultural projects in the district, including Hingaweze. We coordinated with them on certain initiatives, and I intend to continue even after Hingaweze concludes its work here. An example is exchanging regular seeds for these quality ones I multiply. Local farmers come to me and I do it for them at no cost. After all these seeds were given to me by Hingaweze as an investment, I just make sure I leave enough seeds for myself as well to be used in the next planting season. Over the years, Alexei has been able to expand his farming activities, buying a number of machines, including a maize stripping one and another that was given to him by the project Hingaweze. Farmers here now know how to farm professionally, and we also helped a pineapple processing plant to expand its operations. We gave Nzeimana a grant for his farming activities, and we are confident that he will continue helping to distribute quality planting seeds, working with local agro-dealers. Alexei also has his own shop, selling fertilizers, manure and quality planting seeds.
The Eastern Province Administration says it will not tolerate those who damage infrastructure that helps farmers get water for their cows, while those in fault include those in charge of the infrastructure. The Rwanda Investigative Bureau, RIB, says the damage to the Valley Dam could lead to serious penalties, including 7 years in prison. Jen Mutoni has more.
In Damascene, in Karangazi sector, a valley dam that helps farmers get water is one of the dams that appear to have been damaged due to the breakage of a fence that prevents the cows from mudding it, as it was built with clay but was being used inappropriately. It is an issue in the Karangazi sector, yet among the people responsible are the ones in charge of supervising it. One of them is a man called Nyakarundi, who is criticized by the authorities for not fulfilling his responsibilities.
At that point, people had lost hope. We had started planning to relocate, but recently we called a technician to reconstruct the fence in order to prevent cows from mudding the water. Some breeders claim that the wells have also been damaged by fishermen, even though some of them are at fault as well, but say they are going to change their ways. At the time when the dam was provided to us, the fence was in good condition, until fishermen started breaking in, destroying the fence in order to fish from the dam. And then the cows would use those gaps to intrude and muddy the water. We've decided to take the initiative to reconstruct the fence, and also, if possible, hire a person to guard the dam on a daily basis. The governor of the Eastern Province, Gasana Emmanuel, says farmers have been given 1 month to repair the damage. Especially the Kayanje Dam, because it had a metal fence. Some people played a hand in destroying that fence, to the point that cows were able to break in and pollute the water of the dam. So we called the Water Users Committee and showed them what had been done to the fence. We have taken measures, and those who were involved will be held accountable. We have called a meeting with all the breeders, and we agree that in 1 month the construction of the fence should be complete. The Rwanda Investigation Bureau says those involved in this crime of damaging the Valley Dam and have been convicted by the court are likely to face a sentence of between 3 to 5 years of imprisonment plus a fine of 5 million Rwandan francs, and that therefore people that are participating in such actions should stop. Jane Mutoni, RTV News.
On behalf of the entire news production team that made it happen, thank you very much for being with us. My name stays Sam Kalisa, wishing you a good evening. Stay safe and have a fruitful week ahead.